The pre-travel testing program to come to the Big Island has started, but what are the specifics and how to get here? We'll talk about that coming up next. Hey, what's going on, friends? Dylan Nonaka here with the Buy Big Island video blog. And as you know, the pre-travel testing program to come to the Big Island has started. So travel has opened back up, and they're saying there's like about 500 arrivals a day. Some of them are returning residents, but some of them are guests. But it's important to know the details on traveling to the Big Island versus the other islands, because in general, the statewide requirement is you have to get a COVID test, a negative COVID test within 72 hours of traveling. And there's a list of providers that are approved that can give you that test. And you got to have that documentation, you got to fill out a questionnaire and some paperwork. And if you do all of that and you're checked out at the airport at any of the other islands, then you're good to go and you don't have to do the 14-day quarantine. But that's not the case. It's not exactly the case in the Big Island. So you still need to do the 72-hour prior test before you come to the Big Island. But then after that, you also need to do a post-arrival test, which is happening at the airport. The county is providing that for free, so there's no additional cost, but it does delay your arrival time a little bit because you get off the plane and you have to go through the testing procedure one more time. It is a rapid test, so you get the results pretty quickly, but it can be 30 minutes to an hour is what I'm hearing from clients and friends that have done it over the last week or so. So it's an efficient process. It works. There are many people that have come already and have gone through that process and have avoided the quarantine. And so if you're looking to come, make sure you go on the county website. I'll put a link to that below and look at the details, do the travel questionnaire, and then make sure that your pre-travel test is from an approved provider, because that's very important. You can't just get a test from anywhere. It's got to be one of those approved providers. So that's if you're coming from the mainland. The same is true if you're traveling inter island. So right now, if you're coming from a different island to the Big Island, the same procedures are in place. So you need to get that pre-test, plus you need to get the post-test. And they are going to be opening up international travel on November 6th from Japan. So Japan has a pre-testing procedure also that they'll approve, and then they can do the post-test here just like everybody else. So the big takeaway here, the important thing to remember is the Big Island's process is different than the rest of the state. So the state all has the same 72-hour requirement. The Big Islands is a little bit different, so make sure you're staying on top of that. You don't want to get here and get stranded, but pretty much as long as you're doing the 72-hour test prior to coming via the guidelines and from an approved provider, the test when you get here on the ground is pretty straightforward because it's all provided at the airport by the County of Hawaii. So that process is pretty straightforward. So you can definitely come. People are already coming, and it seems like there has been no big spike in cases due to travelers, and so it looks like it's working. So if you've been looking to come or waiting to come, now may be the time. And even if you've been looking to travel and you're here on the island and you want to go and come back, that option is a lot less of a trouble now, because you can get the test and travel to the mainland and come back to and avoid that 14-day quarantine. So as always, if you got any questions, just put them down below, or you can email me at dylan@buybigisland.com. And as always, please like and subscribe to the channel or the video, and I'll see you guys next week. Aloha.